Well, welcome to our discussion series that we're having. Mr. Omar Flores and I, brother. A couple of guys who are in the mental health field, also Masons. There's not that many of us, so we figured we'd come together. We got asked by the Knights Templar to lead this up. Pretty much the idea of it came last year when Jay Kennedy was our Grand Commander. He wanted to make what became the Light of Life Committee. And that focused on suicide prevention and outreach in the different Masonic bodies and orders. And so Omar and I sit on the committee. And so Omar, what do you want to share about just your background and just the experiences that you've had?
Sure. Two big subjects, I guess. But So I'm originally from Detroit. I often describe to my clients in the mental health field that I come from the part that everybody likes to make fun of. But, we grew up on the northwest side and graduated high school on the southwest side. And like many of the people in our field, social work was impactful in making sure that some of us were able to survive tough environments. And so I would argue that that's kind of how it got started for me. Eventually, I went out to Aquinas College in Grand Rapids, Michigan, and got a bachelor's in psychology. I got a master's in social work from Grand Valley. Graduated in 2007, and I've been working as a social worker ever since, happily so. So I started out working with kids and realized that I could play G.I. Joes on the floor, or I could do therapy, but I was terrible at doing them together, and so needed to stop all that and do what I was really called to do. And that led me to two populations in particular. I started working with individuals who were trying to earn paroles after violent felony convictions in a residential facility. And honestly, and I do say this quite a bit, even to my current clients, that it's probably the best social work I've ever done in my life. It's just a population that is concentrated in a spot, and you can work with so many high acuity symptoms that you just can't replicate anywhere else. So I did that, and then I helped to build a social work program for a hospital system out in West Michigan for indigent care clinics, what are called FQHCs, federally qualified health centers. And then the way I describe it, I took my own advice and did something that felt really risky and scary, and did it anyways and went into private practice. So I've been in private practice since part-time since 2016 and full-time since 2019. Specialty is in substance use, but you get what comes into the door and you help whoever is asking for it. So obviously we work with a lot of stuff. But Eric, I'm really curious, the same questions for you, like what got you into this and what has kept you busy in the field?
Oh, that lovely first question that you get in interviews, the why social work.
Yeah, right.
I think honestly social work, I got into it more because I always like listening to people. Always like to have an empathy for people too. And so I went to, I grew up in the Thumb. I'm from Bad Axe. Live out in Cass City now with my wife and kid. I've been in social work for 10 years. I too went to Grand Valley and graduated in 13, so go Lakers.
Go Lakers.
Before that, I went to Saginaw Valley and I got my bachelor's in political science. And I was like, let's go into public administration, maybe law school. And then I was just like, would I be happy doing that? Would I be happy doing public administration? Because, the more I looked into it, the more I started researching the field, I just had my doubts. And so I'm like, what I really want to do? And I started researching social work more and started thinking about social work more and talking to some social workers I knew. And I'm like, let's do this. I think I can make a go of this. And it's been a good career so far the last 10 years. Kind of like you, I started working off with kids and just that general population. That I worked at a local CMH and community mental health, for those of you who don't know what CMH is. Like you, Omar, I was good at playing Jenga with the kids, talking to the kids, but at the same time, it didn't always gel. So I'm like, well, what else do I want to do? So I really got more focused into what's known as dialectical behavioral therapy. I don't want to get too much into that one because too much clinical jargon. But that's really where my suicide prevention work started, I guess. Just the safety planning of it, just the managing of those symptoms, that acuity, as you will. The DBT skills are really great for working through a crisis, and helping individuals find just what makes life worth living. And that's what I really like.
Is there a population that kind of tends towards DBT more or less?
Yeah, it was designed for individuals with borderline personality disorder. I could argue, and I'm not the only one who could argue, it's the only thing that works for personality disorders as a whole. But also it does work well for people who've been through trauma. It also can work for the mood disorders as well. It can work for a lot of different things. Mindfulness is at the core of dialectical behavioral therapy, and I feel like we throw out mindfulness a lot in our clinical circles. But to truly practice what mindfulness is, if you can practice that, you can get through a lot of things.
Yeah.
So that's something I've always been passionate about. Then I got approached about being a program therapist at a senior life group. There's an organization, it's a company, a private company that contracts with local hospitals, and they have different senior programs that they do. It's considered intensive outpatient therapy.
Mm-hmm.
Set under a doctor setting. It's pretty much administered by a psychiatrist. 3 hours, 3 days a week that you meet with run the group. And then I have individuals afterward, before and after the group, and on days you don't meet as a group. And it was a nice way to really get in touch with those clinical skills, really get in touch with that therapeutic mind that you get. So, I mean, that was a great experience and everything. Did that for 3 years. And the last couple, I started working with the Veterans Administration and the program and the homeless program. And that's been just a great experience because for me, like professionally, there is no greater feeling. It's like this heartwarming feeling when a veteran gets housed. When you see somebody who was like living in a transitional housing or in a shelter or in the back of their car, and they get a place and they start moving in and they're starting to set it up and they're just happy, and you're starting to see like this glow that they get, this happiness that they get, this security that they get. That fills your heart with joy.
Yeah.
That's what I love about the field.
Well, as we get into the subjects, I suppose, those types of experiences and certainly the history that we bring into it from our personal lives and our professional lives will probably guide the majority of the advice that we're going to try to give throughout the episodes in the series.
Absolutely. It feels like the both of us have had a lot of interesting stories and a lot of different experiences with individuals who've been struggling with suicide. So I'm excited to do this.
Yeah, I think of therapy and social work in general as being so many things, but at the heart of it, it's the story of the human condition.
Absolutely.
And so, I mean, that's really what all of this is about being human. And, suicide can bring, a new chapter or the end of a chapter into certain lives. But this is about the condition that we hold while we're on our own unique journeys.
Absolutely.
Cool. I look forward to it.
Me too.
Thanks.
Thank you. If you're experiencing a mental health crisis right now, 988 is a great first option to call. 988 has the ability to counsel you, to give you resources, and can also basically dispatch to get you where you need to go. 911 is a good second option too if you need immediate assistance from the police.
I agree completely. The National Suicide Prevention Hotline is by far the way to go because they have the most resources. But if you are with somebody and trying to support somebody who's also going through it, it's a lot of the things that is mentioned in all of these episodes, which is be present, be aware, and just be human, be yourself, and admit what you can and what you can't do, but let them know that you're there with them through the process. And the end goal is safety until we can get to the next step. Thanks so much. We wish you all the best of health.